welcome to this week's Cruise Chat. I'm Kathleen Penner, owner of Plenty of Sunshine Travel, and today I'm joined by Jared, and Jared is from Scenic Waterways, and I've met with Jared a number of times. I don't quite recall all the episode numbers, but what I did is in YouTube, I did a little playlist for each different cruise line, so be sure to look back and see all our other episodes because there's some great content there. But make sure you do come back to this one because we're going to be talking about the eclipse, and it's going to be amazing. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. And just a small correction, it's Scenic Luxury Cruises and Tours, not Waterways.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes. That's okay, just so our guests are aware. And then on top of that, we've got Scenic Eclipse, which is another brand in itself. So thank you so much, Kathleen, for having me on today. What I'd like to do in approximately 35 minutes is give our folks an introduction to Scenic, just a quick overhead of who we are as a company. I'd like to showcase also some of the important design and technology features that have been implemented on the Eclipse because she's state of the art. So I'll showcase some of that. We'll go through some of the inclusivity that the Eclipse has to offer, the onboard experience, the dining, the suites, all of that fun stuff. And I'll showcase a couple of key itineraries that I like, and we'll highlight some special offers as well too.
Great.
But of course, for those who have been following along our series, Kathleen, they know every time I do like to make a little plug on health and safety, just so our guests are fully aware that obviously this is at the forefront of our minds. And good news for everybody who's listening, we actually have resumed sailing. So we are back on the Douro River in Portugal. We started back in July. We've had multiple cruises go, started off with our UK guests. Now our American colleagues are down there right now. And I was actually chatting with one of my colleagues, my Florida colleague, and he was doing a FaceTime with me as he was on board and showing me Porto and everything. So anyway, all that being said is we're very excited that we are back in the water, and there is a whole bunch of health and safety measures that have been implemented. That's a conversation that we could have a separate call on, but anyone who wants to learn more, talk to Kathleen and or myself, and we can get some more info out there. Now, for those who don't know the Scenic background, we have been in business for over 30 years. Started off as a motor coach tour company out of Australia, and we graduated into river cruising. And actually, since 2019, we've gotten into the ocean space, and that's what the presentation today is going to talk about. But Scenic offers the truly all-inclusive experience, and we'll touch upon that as we get into the presentation a little bit more in depth. But we have ships that sail the entire world, over 500 different cruises that touch all 7 continents. We're not limited to one area. We do ocean, we do land, we also do river cruising as well too. So a little bit of everything within the Scenic background. Now, I'd like to introduce our folks to Captain Erwan Laruzic. He's actually one of the captains on board. Lost of words there, tongue twister. One of the captains on board the Scenic Eclipse, and believe it or not, he actually resides in Vancouver. But very friendly gentleman. I show this image because there is an openness amongst the captain and the staff as far as interactions with the guests, and it's really, really an immersive experience. And when you get familiar with the instrument panel and how he actually controls and navigates, it's really quite fascinating. So a little more on that in another slide here, but here are the original blueprints of the Scenic Eclipse back in 2012. So Scenic's owner, Glenn, actually put these together himself, and he had this dream and this vision for this discovery yacht to go on these incredible experiences around the world. And these mock-ups actually really turned into the vision and the reality of what the Eclipse actually is. And believe it or not, we're actually in the process of creating a second Eclipse as well too, that'll join the first one. So that's coming down the road. But going into some of the important technological features that have been built on the Eclipse. Very important, of course, but first off, she has 2 custom-built stabilizers that are 50% larger than other ships, and that really reduces the swing, wind resistance and water resistance. So very, very state-of-the-art in that regard. But there's also a unique global positioning system, a unique GPS that allows her to actually stop and port in areas without sending an anchor overboard as well too. So that way we're protecting the marine life and the seabed floor. We're not dropping anything into the water, and she can actually hold herself right there. So state-of-the-art GPS, both thrusters approximately 100% more powerful than a conventional cruise ship of her size as well. So those are just a couple of very neat features that she has to offer. There's plenty more as well. But here's the open bridge. So I was talking about how we encourage you to come interact with the staff here, talk with Captain Erwan Laruzik, and learn the instrument panel, how he navigates. He's a very friendly person. He loves the engagement, and it's actually very fascinating. Again, the technology, if you look at the advancements over the course of, let's go back 10, 20, 30, 50 years, it's just unbelievable where we are. So he'll show you a little bit about that and what life is like to actually be a captain on board the Scenic Eclipse.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to go on a couple bridge tours, and it's really, really fascinating to see all the neat technology and everything. I think that would be a great another tour to do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, when you're flying on a plane and you get the chance to talk to the captain, or you get to see inside the cockpit. They don't necessarily do it like they used to. They leave the doors open pre 9/11. But yeah, I think having sort of a glimpse into something that the guests aren't really familiar with and learning about it is really fun. So I know Captain Laruzik loves that interaction as well. And we've had some good conversations about his conversations with guests. And yeah, it's, to your point, Kathleen, it's definitely a fun experience. So just going back into the all-inclusivity aspect of Scenic, I'm going to touch on a few of these points throughout our presentation here, but I'm going to showcase our luxury suites. We'll talk about the great inclusions and the multiple dining venues and all the toys on board and some of the indulgent spaces. So let's get into the onboard experience. Now, this is the Scenic Eclipse from afar, as you can see, just an outside view, but just a few things I wanted to point out. 10 different dining experiences on board. And Kathleen, I think from our past presentations, how much I love the dining experience. And one of the main reasons. Yeah, I know you do too. Yeah. So 10 different dining experiences on board. And that is unique for one of these, a discovery yacht like this. The other thing that I love in particular too is we've got toys like helicopters and kayaks and zodiacs. So really, when you're going off for exploration, you've got these fun toys that are at your disposal. But let's go inside. So I'll showcase some of the what it looks like inside. Now, all of our suites do come equipped with a butler, as per Scenic. Our river cruises as well have this, but also on our Scenic Eclipse, no matter what suite you're booked into, you will have a butler at your service, and they are here to enhance your experience and really make it a memorable time for you. Bring you drinks, check you in, give you an orientation. Here is one of our lead-in categories, our Verandah Suites. As you can see, quite spacious, from 345 to 430 square feet. You've got the balcony outside as there. A complimentary mini bar restocked every single day. Luxury bathroom as well too. So just beautiful.
Wow.
Now, if you want to upgrade and get into a little bit of a larger suite, we have our spa suites available. And these have a little bit more of a living room that's connected with the balcony here. And then, of course, it connects to your bed space. But now we're about 550 square feet. So, significantly larger from our Verandah lead-in suite. Here's the panorama suite. So now we're talking the size of maybe a one-bedroom apartment in downtown Toronto, or maybe a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah.
But the panorama suite is over 1,000 square feet large. Check out the bathroom in here.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful tub. Yeah, very modern, chic,
marble.
elegant.
Gorgeous.
Marble design. Yes. Luxury bath products replenished every single day. Egyptian cotton towels. So beautiful experience in here. But the pinnacle of the accommodations is the owner's penthouse suite. Now, this is over 2,000 square feet large. It's got a bedroom, a huge living room, what we're looking at right over here. That dining room can seat up to 8 different people. There's a large television. But for me, this is the biggest highlight. It's having your own private outdoor balcony with a little jacuzzi tub as well. So just imagine staring at the glaciers, or sitting down, having a cocktail over here, or getting your butler to bring you some sparkling wine as you're sitting in the jacuzzi. I think this is really great. I love the glass windows all around too. So you really get, lots of exposure floor to ceiling. And again, you'll notice the design. It's very unique. Glenn, our owner, I mentioned him before, his wife actually played a huge role in designing the ship as well. So those were a few of the suites that we have to offer. Here is our luxury theater. And I say luxury because those are actually nice reclining leather swiveling seats that you can swivel around in there. And there's cup holders in there. There's a bar. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see it at the back because the lights are shining on us here. But there is a bar straight to the back. There's 2 entrances and exits. So if we want to come watch a movie, Kathleen, or maybe there's a performance, we'll have somebody come on board, do a show. We can come to the movie theater here. We have snacks, we've got drinks, and the comfortable seating as well. We do have a yoga studio. So for folks who want to become one with mind, body, and soul, come stretch out. We've got the mats and towels available. If you want to do Pilates, yoga, stretch it out, take in the beautiful scenery all around. So this is available for our guests to use. We have our gym, of course, on board as well. If you want to use the weight rack, a treadmill, water, towels, all available for our guests. And of course, I think a big highlight for a lot of folks is our Senses Spa. It is almost 6,000 square feet large, and it really provides the complete Nordic experience. So we're talking about going into a thermal bath or a temperature controlled plunge pool or one of these warm tile beds here that you could see. So really, get into the right headspace for a spa day. Come relax. Maybe you'll even want to go into the sauna or a steam room. We have facilities for males and females separated. We've got the towels. We've got everything provided for you. Again, you'll notice the unique design and everything all around here. So just relax. This is great for health, relaxation. And again, I just think about stepping outside. I keep referencing Antarctica because maybe you haven't been able to tell. That's where I want to go. I want to go on the Eclipse and I do Antarctica. Yeah. But I can just see myself, taking a steam and going out on the deck and taking it all in. Oh gosh, excited to travel again. Here's deck 7. So you can see this is a little swimming area. I mean, not for laps or anything, but just come cool off in here. Bring your swimming suit, have a drink, relax out on the deck. The observatory is also a very nice area if you want to come. We do have a telescope that you could look through. Of course, when you're sailing in the Antarctic and when it's nighttime, you might get some great glimpses of the stars and sort of everything around here. So come to the observatory, use the complimentary Wi-Fi, read a book, have yourself a snack, and relax. Wow. Here's the heart of the ship, Kathleen. This is the Scenic Lounge. So this is really, all people like to come here to chat. There'll be music playing. That crystal quartz backlit bar has over 100 different whiskeys available. I believe Walter Knoll and Thomas Dixon actually custom designed the seats, the tables, all the furniture and seating areas within the Scenic Lounge as well too. So great spot. Come have a drink, relax. Here's on the opposite angle, as you can see here. So really the heart of the ship. Different drink and wine, food and wine available. So all inclusive, like we mentioned, including your premium drinks as well too. So your liquors, scotches, vodkas, gins, and your wine, beer, soft drinks, fruit punch. I mean, everything that you want is included within Scenic Eclipse. I mentioned before the multiple different dining venues that we have available. Elements Fine Dining, this is sort of our Italian style restaurant if you're looking for seafood, steak, that kind of thing. There is a waiting room with a coat area, and it's actually kind of a wine and cheese waiting section before you come in and get seated. If there's a private event, you can actually request to have a part of the restaurant sealed off for yourself. So for your group, you can have a private section. And that's Elements. Really, really excellent dining here. Our fine French dining is Lumière Cuisine. And Lumière, of course, means light in French. And you'll notice the way the bar is lit up. You can see all the drinks lit up. It's quite nice. But one unique design here actually came from Quebec. There's a sculpture totally handcrafted by spoons. It's like a little person. And it's over 3,000 spoons that were created and donated to the Eclipse. So actually a Canadian put that together, and it's right when you walk in here. Nice. And now to the left of the image, that's actually another little private section. So if you wanted some privacy, you could go over there. But a little bit smaller. Here's our chef's table. So this is actually by invite only. Let's say, for example, you're staying in the owner's 1-bedroom suite. You would receive an invitation to the chef's table. So invite only. It's a private table, but you do have the ability to see the open kitchen concept. So the chef's bustling around, cooking, preparing your meals, and then they come out and you have a private meal with you and your guests. So that's the chef's table. Yes. Here's our Asian style fusion restaurant called Koko's. If you want a teppanyaki experience, so come sit up right next to it, have an interactive experience, but Asian fusion, so sushi, everything that you can think of. You want some sake bombs, cold or hot, I mean, whatever you'd like. This is the Asian fusion experience. Now, if you're looking for something more of just a snack on the go, like a little sandwich or a pastry or something like that, the Azure Bar and Cafe will be available for little snacks and drinks that you could just grab on the go. But also check out the scenery. You just want to sit down, look outside. That's definitely available as well too.
Wow, goodness, gorgeous.
Yes. So let's move now. That was the onboard experience, but let's
Mhm.
talk a little bit about the discovery, because what the Eclipse is all about is not only, enjoying the amenities on board, but it's actually going out to discover. And that's why we're going on this discovery yacht. So when you are going on excursions, we have an expert discovery team that will lead our guests off. So you're always going to be safe. These are our pilots for the helicopter, our captains for the submarines. These are the folks who are taking us out on the zodiacs and the kayaks. So these are experts in their field, and they will lead us on our discovery excursions. Now, before I mentioned on Scenic, everything is inclusive. We do pride ourselves on the all-inclusive factor, but on the Eclipse, just be advised, there's a few things that are not included, and one of them would be actually the helicopter ride. So depending on where you are in the world, it could vary in cost, and depending on how long you go for, whether it's a 20, 30, or 40-minute flight, it varies in cost. But just to give folks an expectation, I think it could range anywhere between $400 and $900 per person, depending where you are and how long you go for.
Mhm.
But it can seat up to 6 people. We do have 2 of these helicopters on board. So if one goes up, we pull another one out of the private hangar, and then we'll take the next set of people up. So very popular, lots of fun. And you can book that while you're on board.
Mhm.
The other out-of-pocket expense would be the submarine. So this is our Sub Works 7. She
Mhm.
can dive to depths of 1,000 meters below the sea surface. And she's been designed and created for optimal sightseeing when it comes to going down under the water. You could see the whole glass dome here, which really gives you a good view of the marine bed and everything underneath the water here. So 6 people can go on this as well. Again, it varies in cost depending on how long and where you are, which itinerary. But I think you could sort of speculate the same, $400 to $900 per person, depending on where you are. But this is by far one of the most popular excursions. People have raved about it so far. I
And
would
with
love to
good
do this
reason. That
myself.
would be fabulous to see all that. Goodness, yeah. Wow.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I know. And if you're a wildlife enthusiast like I am,
Mhm.
this would be really fascinating to see. So,
Yeah.
as I alluded to before, we do have the kayaks and the zodiacs on board. We do have a temperature-controlled on-board marina, and I
Mhm.
mentioned that because some other Discovery ships, what they need to do is they actually disembark, and then they have to go to a marina and then get all the gear and the equipment and then go on their journey. While with us, you do it all on board the Eclipse, and it actually saves you a couple hours of exploration time.
Mhm.
So we will provide the gear for you, parkas, the footwear, gloves, all that stuff. You can get dressed up right on board. So those are the jackets that we'll provide,
Yeah.
and then you go on out right off the Eclipse. So great fun exploration. Now, obviously, you can tell you do need some mobility to go on this. Now,
Mhm.
if you didn't want to go on the excursions and just enjoy the amenities on board, that's totally fine as well, too.
Yeah.
But all
Mhm.
the onshore excursions included as well. So you just pick what you like. It's free choice. Maybe you want to do a walking tour. Maybe you want to do a zodiac tour. Maybe you want to do the helicopter excursion. Well, that wouldn't be included. But all the other ones on land would be. So you decide.
Wow.
Now, I'll show you a couple of our itineraries here.
Mhm.
Now, just to give you the bird's eye view, this is my favorite region, of course, Antarctica, South Georgia, and the Falkland Islands. And there's various cruises that range from 13 to 20 days, just depending on when and how long you'd like to go.
Mhm.
Now, this is Antarctica in depth. So you see what you do is you fly down to into Buenos Aires, and we head down from South Argentina to the Eclipse, and then we'll head down our journey through the Drake's Passage, South Orkney Islands, Port Lockroy, we go back up. But folks, if you are going to take this trip and only do it once in your lifetime,
Mhm.
this is the itinerary that I recommend. It's a lot more comprehensive.
Yeah.
And really, for me, the big highlight is you are actually going to do South Georgia and the
Mhm.
Falkland Islands as well, too. So for the wildlife enthusiasts, if you're like me, again, this is the one that you're going to want to take. And depending what time of year you want to travel, there's a variety of different things as far as wildlife that you could see. For example, December and January, you could see chicks hatching and seal pups being birthed. And then February through March is when the whales and seals at their peak will start migrating north into early March. So depending when you travel, you might be able to see sort of migrations or mating season. but very diverse wildlife. Our experts on board will give great education on them as well. So something I didn't know that I learned was the elephant seal can weigh 4 tons, which is incredible, and can hold their breath for more than 100 minutes underneath water. So I mean, that's amazing lung capacity, quite frankly.
Wow, 4
But
tons. My goodness. Wow.
yeah, I mean, talk about thick blubber to keep you warm in these freezing temperatures here. But yeah, amazing.
Goodness.
So I love Antarctica for the wildlife. South Georgia, Arctic in the fjords is also another great one. Lots of really unique history here, depending again how long you go, ranging from 12 to 21 days for this. But you see, we've got all departure dates listed over here. This is one of my favorite itineraries. It's exploring the high Arctic. And you are covering quite a, we're covering quite a bit different things here. So Copenhagen, starting off in Denmark, obviously very exciting, going through the fjords, going over to Iceland and Reykjavik. I mean, the land of fire and ice, the Viking history, spend a little extra time over there in the Blue Lagoon as well too. So, but Greenland, I think for, again, wildlife, and maybe Iceland should be called Greenland because there's a lot more ice over in Greenland. But again, very, very exciting as far as the wildlife and visiting parts of the world that aren't necessarily frequented. Iceland has become quite busy, but Greenland, for example, I think is a unique spot that not too many people have gone to.
Yeah, and I think if I were to go, I'd have to bring an extra DSLR SD card for sure, because there's so many gorgeous photographs I'd want to get there. Goodness me. Yeah.
Oh my, yes, absolutely. Yeah, you'll need a few of them. Now, this is also quite popular, as you can imagine, the Mediterranean, Europe and the Mediterranean, very, very popular indeed. So for those folks who maybe don't want to go to, Antarctica and maybe look for something a little warmer temperature wise, we've got the Europe and the Med as well too. So here's iconic treasures of Italy and Greece. And I love this because you are actually stopping in a few iconic cities. For example, Rome and Athens, but heading down to Sicily, Giardini and Naxos is a beautiful region. You get to see the clear, beautiful water. You get to do the island hopping, Sorrento and Greece. So this is just such a romantic cruise, in my opinion, because of the two destinations, Italy and Greece, and the island hopping and just sort of sailing through this region. It is quite beautiful. So one of my favorite itineraries right here, and it's 8 days. Of course, the Americas. So as I mentioned before, Scenic Eclipse, she does the entire world. She's not limited to one area. So depending where you want to go. Here's the adventures through the Inside Passage. I don't know if you've been to Alaska, Kathleen, but one of my favorite regions in the world as well too. And it's not too far away. Obviously, Alaska's our neighbor. So this one, you go from Vancouver if you'd like. So for our Canadian guests, are easy to get to and from, and sailing the eclipse up the passage here and heading into Alaska is really, really beautiful. So those were just a couple of the itineraries. Again, there's lots and lots more, but again, I just wanted, I think, for the purpose of this presentation, to showcase the features of the eclipse and just touch on where she sails to. But for those of you who are interested in booking next year, we do have our super early bird that is in effect. So if you're willing to put down payment in full, you can receive up to a 20% discount. So please talk to Kathleen about booking those dates. If you just want to take advantage of our early bird offer, you could still save up to 10% as well too, and book by October 31st of this year. So just ask for the early bird special. And that sort of brings me to my conclusion. So did you have any questions, Kathleen, or was there anything that
I think you explained it really, really well. I was really surprised to see 10 restaurants. Usually, the smaller ships, you might have 4. So it was really neat to see a great variety that you can choose from, and that's fabulous. Wow. As you know,
actually, I forgot to mention. Yes, I forgot to mention the size. So while the eclipse sails the Antarctic region, she'll only take 200 guests with her, so very intimate. But when she'll sail the rest of the world, she'll take 228. So still very small. Yeah. But I think post-pandemic world, for folks who want a very intimate experience and maybe not worry about 2,000-3,000 people on board, this will give that intimacy, definitely.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I really love a smaller ship experience because I think it can get you to ports that you just can't get to on the mega ships. And I love the personalized attention too. So those are 2 things that I really look forward to when I do go on smaller ships. So I think those are great things to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for putting all that together. I can't get over how gorgeous it was. I really appreciate you doing all that work. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this week's cruise chat with Jared from Scenic. It was amazing to see the Scenic Eclipse. It was just fabulous to see some of the rooms. I love that it has 10 different restaurants on board. As you know, food is a big part of my cruises. So I really love that it has 10 restaurants. So that's just a great thing to have the variety and to have them all included as well. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. This way you can see as soon as we put out a new cruise chat. They come out every single Thursday, usually around 11 a.m., but sometimes they're a little bit delayed. That way you don't need to wait for me to go to Facebook and announce that there's a new episode up. You can get notification right away. So make sure that you hit that. You can also join us on Facebook. As I mentioned, it's Plenty of Sunshine Travel on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to get any more information about the Scenic Eclipse or any of the other cruise chats that I have, please just send me an email. It's info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com, or just head over to plentyofsunshinetravel.com, click on Contact Us, fill out that form, and I will answer you right away. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and have a great week, everybody. Bye.